Hey there, NECA fans. This is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at NECA's new Aliens Hicks action figure. Hicks here is from the Aliens Series 1 line, and he is the first, along with Hudson, of the Colonial Marines that they're planning on making. So, very, very cool stuff here. I'm very excited to have another Michael Bain figure in the collection, so that's pretty sweet. Now, as far as the looks of this figure, we're talking like top-notch, NECA at the top of their game, like absolutely perfect. We've got a great likeness to Michael Bain. You see that? This is sort of his, I wouldn't say panicked, but, you know, just kind of like speaking concerned, you know, obviously listening to Ripley, but very like measured, very cool. I think they did a great job. The hair looks fantastic. They did a nice job with the short little kind of shaved up look in the back and everything. Very, very, very cool stuff. Really dig this. The armor, very well replicated. He does have his little locket on there. Very cool. What I also love about the armor is they've got all the little inclusions that make it unique. Like here it says Hicks. I really like this one here. There's a hole there, and it says, hopefully that'll focus. It says Born Again, which I think it's really clever. It's really funny. We've got some shotgun shells over here, it looks like. I'm not sure what all the details are. There's a knife here. But also very nice paintwork on the camouflage itself, which goes down to the pants as well, which we'll show in a second. But take his shotgun off here real quick, and I'll show you a little bit more on the back side of the armor. Down here we've got Lifer, which is cool. We've got all these clips that would hold various things. This hole in the back is for his light fixture that they wear on their backs. And there's a peg that actually is on the inside of the armor, or a peg hole rather, so you can plug that in and it'll hold in very securely like on the Hudson figure. But very cool that it's kind of got like the segmented armor here. You can see like where there would be a hinge. It's not actually hinged there. This is all one solid rubber piece, but they did a great job of replicating it. On the side, we've got these great buckles, separately painted. They look great on their own. Very, very cool stuff all around. Now he also comes with this little thing that is attached right here. I'm going to have to super glue it. I had to do a little repair work on mine. Just, not repair, but getting his legs to move was kind of a pain, and that unfortunately popped off in the process, but that will super glue right back on, because that's how it was held on in the first place. But pretty nice work, like I said, on the armor. Down here, we've got the diaper piece and everything, but they've kind of designed this so that there is a unique marine body under here, and they can just put different armor overlays on it. So if you wanted to, you could boil this figure and take this part off, or even just pull at the sides here and break the super glue along there, take that off, and have the marine. The only issue with that is that this piece here, this flap, is on the bottom part. That is still glued in place. So you can see right there, that's where it's glued. So you would have to peel that off, so it might leave a little glue residue. But if you wanted like a bunch of stock Marines with no armor, you could easily do that by picking up several of these guys, which is very cool. So, moving on, we've got nice musculature on the arms. You can see his tattoo. It should say, I think, USCM, but you can see there's a little paint kind of slop there, and I think it messed with it right there, which is not great, but, you know, not the end of the world. Nice arm hair there, a watch. The hands are, of course, very well done. They always are, with great paint details to make them, like, grimy and dirty, like he's been, you know, in the muck. We've got a taped up right wrist. The paint doesn't go all the way to the edge on mine, so I don't think that's like a widespread problem, just in my case it is. The belt on the armor, by the way, is free floating. It's attached here on the front, you can see, up to these shoulder pieces, but on the back it just kind of hangs. So what I've been doing is just kind of like pushing it up over the little bits here so it stays nice and up and out of the way, kind of tucked. So there's another cool little thing is the acetylene torches that they use, or I guess maybe future acetylene, I don't know. They're actually here and connected, but they are rotatable, and even if you get your finger in there and tug on them, they are also removable. If you wanted to recreate any of the scenes where they're like welding the door shut and stuff, They're kind of a pain to get off because it is a very tight fit, but they will come off. There we go. You see it's got a great little grip there, and the grip will sort of fit into the hand. You kind of have to finagle it a little bit, but it will fit in there if you work at it, because I got it to fit the other day. There we go. Well, it'll fit. It will, I promise. You just do have to work at it a little bit. But that does clip right into the belt, so if you never want to mess with it forever, you just got a cool little accessory that's attached, which is neat. And it won't get in the way of articulation because there's a swivel there, so that's always cool. Great work on the camouflage on the pants. Just outstanding. Like, for being rubber here and plastic here, you can't really tell a difference in the quality of the plastic, or in the quality of the paint, rather, because they did such a good job of like masking it over everything. So very cool. The knee pads here actually have straps that go all the way around, and these are free floating straps, so they're not actually like molded to that piece. I don't think. I think they're actually like a separate rubber piece, but they are over the plastic joints, but they've cut the joints deep enough so that it won't impede articulation too much, which is very cool. More great clips and armor down here on the bottom. Great boot detail. We do have peg holes on the bottom and a little bit of boot detail on the bottom. Very cool. Just overall outstanding looking figure. Just, they did a great job. And he also comes with some great accessories. We've got the I think this is the M41 assault rifle, but it does not have like an adjustable stock or anything like that. You cannot see the numbers. It's too small, so they weren't able to paint any numbers in there, but very cool. The pump action also does not work, just so you know. But it does have a strap, which will go over his body very easily. No big deal there. Very cool. I love the paintwork on it. They've got a little bit of some scraping there and stuff, so nice work. And you've seen the torch. He also comes with his shotgun case, which goes on his back, which of course has his shotgun in it. So that's just a peg and hole system here. Just pop that open. Shotgun inside. It's got the taped up grip that he had. Very cool. Kind of a metallic black in there, like with metallic flake. So cool. Yeah, simple pump action shotgun. Maybe a kind of looks like an 870, maybe a Benelli. I don't know. Not as familiar with shotguns, but pretty cool. I'll see if I can look that up from IMFDB, and I'll put it down in there. But besides right in his back here and pins, it also fits in very easily in his hands. Both the rifle and the shotgun. Now, it does have a separate trigger, like it's not part of the molded grip, so putting this in and out of his hands a lot over time will probably break that trigger off. I've had that happen with a lot of NECA figures just because they do try and put the detail of the trigger in, but you know, it happens. I'm not that worried about it. So he holds that very well, and he holds his rifle very well. What you may notice on both of these, if you were to look very closely, is there is some paint rub from his hands. You can see right down there on the front. Paint rub on both weapons. It's just a lot of paint on his hands that are coming off. So, again, not a huge deal for me or anything, but, you know, just so you guys know, in case that's an issue for you. So, that fits into his hand very nicely, and is very convincing. Like, they did a really cool job. And the strap will hang freely down here if you want. You know, you can pull that down through there, or you can have it like I had at the beginning and wrapped around the outside. So really cool. They did a great job with accessories and everything on this guy. I'm really impressed. Then we get to articulation, and these guys are definitely in the super articulated realm of action figures. We've got NECA's standard ball jointed head, side to side action, very good. Down, super good. Up, very good. Swivel hinge shoulders go out about that far. Maybe a little farther, but the armor's blocking it, but you really wouldn't need to go much higher than that. And of course, all the way around, except for where it's blocked by the armor. Swivel biceps go all the way around. We've got swivel hinge elbows, where the hinge goes about 90 degrees, and then the swivel is on the bottom half of the arm. So, if you want to rotate his forearm for some reason, I don't know why, you have the option. Nice vein work in there, by the way. Good job. Swivel hinge wrists go in and out. So very cool there. And of course 360 on that. We've got the newly minted ball jointed mid torso and ball jointed waist that NECA's been doing. So I'm going to try and grab this and see if I can move them separately. But you can see there's a lot of motion up here in the upper area. Good forward and back and everything. And then the waist also has its own, if I can block that. Yeah, you can see the waist has at least rotation. And the armor, I think I'm holding it, which is a problem. I was holding the armor. The armor is going to rotate with that because it's glued to the pelvis and not this part. So very cool there. Not as much forward and back and side to side on that part. That's more of a swivel. Kind of similar to the newer Dutches. You know, a little less in the ball jointed area than swivel. So we've got swivel hinge hips, swivel hips actually. So they are hooked in at 90 degrees. They go forward, back. The diaper doesn't block them too much. And then out to the side. And then they swivel at the top. Now, the hips on both of my figures were very stuck, and I had to boil and redesign both of them. Well, not redesign, I just had to dismantle is the word I was looking for, sorry. I didn't get out a drafting table and figure out, how can I fix this? No. But I did have to take them apart and notice that down on the pegs going into the thigh, this is my Hudson, and see there's a metal ring. And this is covered in super glue as well. Now, I don't think that the thighs were glued in place, but I think the super glue is designed to hold the metal ring in place. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that. So if you do take the leg off, you're going to have a devil of a time getting it back in unless you take this metal ring off. Because what happens is when you try and slide this leg back up, it pushes the ring up with it. So it's very hard to get it in place because this ring naturally wants to slide up this peg. So, yeah, that's how I ended up breaking off this little piece off of Hicks, was trying to fix these problems. So I did want to show you guys that. I did pull off both of Hicks's pegs, or his rings that go around his pegs here. Those are just little metal pegs, or little rings. I keep saying pegs. But yeah, once I did that, it did make it so that his right leg does, when you get to twisting it too much, you can pull it straight off. So it's not the end of the world, but just be aware, if you decide to take the rings off, you may have a leg that comes off a little easier. So it doesn't really affect articulation or anything. He's still got full range of motion and all that jazz. But, just want to make you guys aware. We do have double hinge knees. So, pretty nice range of motion there. Not perfect, but pretty good. The strap that goes behind that doesn't really get in the way too much, but it will prevent, I think, it from getting, a little bit closer. But it's still good enough to do, a very nice action like hallway, kneeling pose, like take a knee. So that's cool. We've got ball jointed ankles. So definitely not as good a range as Dutch, but certainly not bad. Unfortunately, mine, both ankles are very, very loose. You see how easily that moves. I have not been able to find a pose yet that doesn't have him falling over after a certain amount of time. I'm trying to set him up. I can give it a stand for a little bit, but he will eventually fall because the ankles are just too weak. So I'm going to have to fix those with some super glue. So that's a bummer, but, not everybody can be as good as Dutch. And then we have hinge toes to finish off. So, not bad. So these figures, I think they all came together for about $16 a piece from Corner Store Comics. For $16, even with the small problems, he's still a great buy. The ankles I'm definitely going to have to fix. Obviously the hips I had to fix. And I never like doing work on figures when I get them out of the box. I expect them to be ready to go. But for $16 for a figure that looks this great, it's still really a good deal. So, I can't say much about that. So let me just set this guy up real quick, if he will stand, and I will get in. Kyle Reese. Here's these two together. You can see that the work that they did on the sculpt for the new Hicks is a much better Michael Bain likeness. Bring these in a little closer. Where he, obviously I thought he looked really good. A lot of people said he looked kind of like a rat, which I can see that. They did do kind of the same expression. I think they captured a little bit better on this guy. His eyes kind of make him look like a little bit of a strung out junkie, but his are much more, I don't know, professionally done. I think he looks a lot better. I could see people actually taking this head and putting a little hair on it to get a better Kyle Reese head, but very cool. I dig that. And I think it's funny that they've released 2 Michael Biehn figures and both of them ended up coming with a shotgun. I think it's kind of funny. But anyway, as far as Hicks versus the Predator, Hicks versus the Alien. Let me get this guy back in here. Great sizing there. I think they did a great job really kind of getting the scale right on these guys, because this guy is massive next to Hicks. Wish he could stand up better. Like if I straighten out his legs and everything, just absolutely dwarfs Hicks, which is really, really cool. So very in scale to each other, and I dig that. Great action figure. Lots of accessories, tons of accessories. I mean, we got the rifle, the shotgun, the bag, the torch. Everything is included with this guy is fantastic. If you're willing to do the work on the a little bit of the articulation, I have heard of a lot of like stuck joints and even some people who've had some broken joints. I would say make sure when you get them from a place that does accept returns, on the chance that you might have to, return the figure if you can't repair it yourself. So. But for $16, definitely worth the risk. I recommend it completely. Yeah, any questions or comments, throw them down in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this video up. I was kind of out of a charger for a week, and I thought I was going to have enough time to review this figure before the battery ran out, but I did not. So sorry about that. But we will have Hudson coming up soon, probably the next couple days. So look forward to that, and I've also got the new Predator 9 series, so I'll be doing some reviews of those too. So very excited, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.